How do we usually do this?
Hello, my name is Kelsey.
And my name is Becky.
And we're the TheSorryGirls.
And today we have a really amazing DIY for you. Oh my goodness.
Mind is blown.
Oh my goodness.
We blew our own mind.
One of our literal favorite DIYs to do is things that are in stores for hella Skrilla. And we do it for cheap. And we tell you how to do it.
Yay! Yay! Well, if you guys didn't figure out from like the title, the thumbnail, all that jazz, this is our terrarium DIY, which like, can I tell you how this came about? We're like on Pinterest, like we've seen these greenhouse kind of terrariums made from picture frames. Because like obviously the main component of a terrarium is glass, and it's like, where do you get like cheap glass? It's like vintage picture frames. So we're looking at these like picture frame greenhouses. We'll like pop a picture in. Like they're not super cute, and we started to like look at more and more, and we're like, yeah, none of them are really cute. There was like one kind of cute one. And then Becky's like, well, I have this like glass cutter. Maybe we can just like cut the glass. And I'm like, what? We have a glass cutter? What the heck is that? I did not know this existed.
I used it for my palette table. I have a small one in my bedroom, if you saw our room tour, and I just bought it like for my own personal whatever. Didn't think we'd ever actually use anything because cutting glass is like, I thought, so much more legit than it actually is.
So yeah, so when we're like picture frames and glass cutter, we can make our own shapes, and then we just need to glue it together somehow.
And so we will tell you today how we did that to make these super awesome hella like geometric hella geometric terrariums. Okay,
here you go.
See you guys after.
To start, you're going to need some glass. We picked up a couple of old frames from our local thrift store for a couple of dollars each. We bought two 8.5 by 11 frames and two 11 by 14 frames. Next, we're going to draw out our template. If you want to make the same size we did, draw out a baseline of 8.5 and line up the middle of 7 3/8. These are all inches, and connect the points to create a triangle. Our second template is going to be a base of 8.5 and a midline of 11 inches, and connect again to create a triangle. We're going to be making one of this size and two of this size. We're also going to go back and extend our lines on our triangle to make our glass cutting a little bit easier.
To cut our glass, we're going to use a glass cutter. It's just a small tool with a little tiny wheel on it, which helps to cut the glass. It's pretty cheap and can be found at most hardware stores. So place your piece of glass over our drawn out template and line a ruler up with one of the lines. Make sure to allow a tiny gap for the width of your tool so that the wheel perfectly lines up with your template. Firmly roll the glass cutter down the line in one straight move. We're scoring a line onto the glass instead of cutting through it. It should make this really awful scratching noise if you're doing it right. Next, we're going to use a pair of cut running pliers. These are a very inexpensive plastic version, and we will leave a link to it below. The pliers have a small bump in the middle which helps the glass to break in a nice clean line. We put on some thick gloves for extra safety precautions, but if done right, you shouldn't have any small broken glass shards anywhere. Using the lightest amount of pressure needed, line the pliers up with your score line and press down. The glass should break smoothly along your line. For our final front piece, we're going to add a line 1.5 inches up on our second triangle template. We're going to be cutting our final piece of glass into this shape to allow for an opening in our terrarium. And here are all of our pieces cut out.
Before assembling, use some sandpaper to rough up all the edges of your glass. Your glue will stick much better this way. We're going to use some plain masking tape and assemble our terrarium from the inside. This will help keep it together while we glue. Next, we're going to lay down strips of tape on the outside where we're going to place the glue. This will give us a clean glue line when we take off the tape. The glue we're going to use is the Lepage Stick and Seal, which is specifically meant for bonding glass. Lay enough glue down to cover the ridge between the glass pieces and then remove your tape guards. Repeat this process on all sides of your terrarium and let your glue dry for about 24 hours. Once dry, you can remove your tape that's on the inside of your terrarium.
To add a faux soldered effect, we're going to go over our glass glue in E6000 Black. This is a very strong craft glue, so try not to get any on your hands and also try not to breathe it in. Mask up if you need to. Place fairly thick lines of glue on all of your edges, but be careful not to overuse it or it may start to run in places that you don't want it to go. We also went around the edges on the inside of our opening to create a matching effect. And again, allow this glue to dry for 24 hours.
And disclaimer, yes, we all know that proper glass terrariums are meant to be soldered with proper metal, but in our true DIY spirit, we want to find the easiest and most affordable way for you guys to make your own, and we think that it turned out pretty great in the end.
And side tip, because the black E6000 did not specifically mention glass on the label, we picked up the clear glass glue as a first step just to be sure it would work. We later tried a mini terrarium using solely the E6000 and it seemed to bond just as well. Feel free to skip the stick and seal glue if you don't want to use two types of glue or you're working on a smaller project.
So, it wasn't that hard, was it?
It was not that bad! And it turned out like so amazing!
I know.
So good, so good.
So hella good.
So hella good, Joe. We were on Etsy like looking up like inspo pics and there's so much money.
I know, we were like trying to figure out what shape we wanted to do, like a diamond, and like, I think that out of all the ingredients and materials we had, especially the picture frames, we can get like 3 terrariums out of that. And obviously the glue and the glass cutter can like last you for a lot longer.
Yeah, if you were already to own those things for whatever reason, like it's not an expensive DIY.
Yeah, so. To buy all the materials, like it might upfront cost you a little bit, but if you go in with it with a whole bunch of friends or something and you guys make a couple, then the cost goes way down.
And it's really just getting over the fact of like, oh my goodness, I'm cutting glass, it's scary, because it's really not. One more thing though I want to add is in this video we kind of had our terrarium already pre-made, but if you want to know more into like how to actually build a terrarium with like the dirt and the rocks and the actual plants and all that goodness, we did a video a while ago about like terrarium info and how to build your own
mason jar.
Yeah. So we will link that below for you if you want to know more on that.
And if you guys don't want to wait to see us until next Tuesday, which is when we upload every Tuesday, then you guys can catch us on our social medias, links below. You guys get it. Instagram, Snapchat.
That's a new thing, so we're trying, to use that.
I Snapchat right now before we did this.
Super fun, super fun.
And if you guys like this video, make sure you like it.
And if you love it, make sure you sub it.
And we will see you guys next week.
Bye guys.